All right, YouTube says we're live. It's 2:51 on this July 3rd. I'm not sure if I'm going to get anybody, but there's a couple things I need to talk about. And a video that I want to share with you and debunk. Somebody I followed. I'm sure a lot of you all follow him. But a lot of the stuff he says is pretty stupid. And when it comes to stand your ground laws, if y'all notice, I'm very, very puffy. I went to the hospital yesterday expecting to have my surgery, my hernia surgery, until Jennifer had to open her big mouth and tell them how my feet are swollen. So now the surgery's put on hold till after the 4th. I have to have a bunch more tests done because they're worried about me having some type of heart defect. Something's wrong with my heart. I've had high blood pressure since I was just turned 18, and I've been on a Tylenol for years. And now that I've gotten older, it's catching up with me. Now, this is inside the camper. I don't keep the camper clean all the time, but this is just one of my feet. And it's disgusting looking. I ain't gonna lie. I can hardly walk on them. But it is what it is. But they said it could be some type of heart disease before I need to be cleared before I have my abdominal hernia surgery. So that basically pissed me off. I just want to get the surgery over with, so now I got to wait longer. And I got to walk around with actually one fat foot and the other one starting to swell up. In the house right now, Kelly Kabuski, Sister Minx M, how you doing, sports fan? Brother Michael Gale, Country Boy Logging, 11 people in the house. Yeah, I'm definitely slacking on this. Jay Crapper just popped in the house. What's shaking, bacon? I'm going to get on that with Marley here shortly. Marley's really he's hanging on, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to the ER, because when I went for my abdominal hernia, that's in the hospital, they wanted me to immediately go down to the emergency room because of my blood pressure was 196 over 111. Then they took it again. It was like 190 something over 100 and 112. No, 116. I've had those days before, so I'm not worried about it. I feel you, brother. Surgery sucks. Mine took 6 hours, and still feel like I was using a soccer ball. Yeah, hernia surgery is really going to suck. And thanks to good old AB, or truck driver. Yeah, he's made me feel real comfortable about it. He's like, oh, man, they get in there and they rip and they tug and they pull and all this stuff. And it's going to hurt like hell. And, yeah, it's so hot in this house. Sorry, y'all. But Vlad, we're blessed and we're happy that you have pulled through and you're doing good. I watched your video last night. Definitely heartbreaking. And that's going to be the strange thing when I have my surgery, is going to not have anybody come visit me. And you know what, the weird reason why, before I moved up here, anytime I had a surgery down south, I was always by myself. But for some reason, I don't know. It's like, I don't, I'd like to have one visitor. So we'll see what happens. Jay Crapper says, chilling man, and Law came to kick it this week in Phoenix. You lost me there, brother. I got a headache. Both my feet are about to blow up. Your Bruno's also sick. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. The only reason why I would say I'm holding on to Marley, like I said, is a selfish reason. We don't want the ones that we love to pass away, and we'll do anything in the world to keep them alive. And I need to keep Marley alive until the 4th of July because that is his world. He loves fireworks. You know, if you look back way, way, way back in the archives, you'll see Marley just, but the one I did the other day, and those I did not delete. I just have them on private. I got to let wait a little bit, a little longer, because if not, Crybaby Scott will go ahead and call the police. They won't do nothing. I'm just refuse to take those down. But after Marley passes, I'll bring those back up. And prayers for you, Sister Minnie, with your pup. Congestive heart failure. They say that they believe that's what. I have to have some type of a test done with contrast, an MRI with contrast, and then a CT scan on my all kinds of crap. I thought I was just going in there to have my surgery, and now they're like, "Oh my God, your heart's all screwed up. You're gonna die." And I'm like, "Sweet, get the heck off this planet." You're welcome there, Brother Vlad. And I know your wife was very worried. Brother Michael Gale, if it's close to you, if I was close to you, I would be with you. I know you would, brother. I know you would. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and break down. I know a lot of people watch this guy, and so do I, but the way he talked about this couple defending themselves, and I'm sure many of y'all have seen it, just agitates me. If you don't live in the States, if you don't have the right to bear arms like we do, just shut your mouth. All right, let's see what's up and going. All right, here we go. Now, I'm sure many of y'all have seen this couple right here when Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all that broke into their gated community. And you have Pops here with his AR-15 and Mom here with her 380, I believe, semi-automatic. This is the way he talks.
Bug in and when to bug out in the case of civil unrest. And I'm going to be referencing for this video the case of the McCloskeys versus protesters. And the interesting thing in this case, which probably shouldn't be overlooked, and as far as I can tell from the video footage and based on what the McCloskeys themselves have said, they actually pointed their firearms at white protesters. So,
all right off the rip, I want to talk about, yes, do these two people right here, the way they're handling their firearms, do they look like they've been trained? Absolutely not. But were they smart enough to buy firearms to protect their homes and their house from these greaseball freaks right here, the ones that kicked in the iron gates of their gated community and came in and threatened these people here that they were going to kick in their homes and steal their shit, etc. You know what? I don't care. Just your posture and the way you hold your gun does not give you, or that doesn't give you the lack of your Second Amendment. Okay, these people probably never even fired a gun in their life, but they saw what was coming. All right, they have every right, the Second Amendment right, to do that. Okay, and if they did not have those guns in their hands, and they told the rioters to get off their grass, they would have been bum rushed, probably kicked right through their house. Yeah, so what? They're rich. They got money. Hey, maybe they did something like work hard, etc. Exactly, Sister Minnie Meets.
I think that should be something that people should keep in mind as well. Not to say that makes it better or worse, but perhaps that can alleviate some fears that this was a racially motivated thing. You know, we don't know what transpired off camera, once again. So it's not my intent.
I want to know, how is that not racially motivated? Maybe I just heard him wrong. Now, there were African Americans and there were whites. You got Antifa and Black Lives Matter and a bunch of other dirtbags, whatever color they are. That's their home right there. She is standing right there protecting her home, using her Second Amendment right. Yes, her finger is on the trigger. She wasn't trained correctly. But guess what she's doing? She is standing up for her life. She is standing up for her husband's life. They're not going to take it. That's what all Americans need to do. You know, people that, I'm sure she's afraid to shoot that gun. But guess what? Did any of those Antifa members and BLM members break through their house? Well, watch and learn.
Intent here to judge anybody within this story. All we know is that these protesters breached private property and the McCloskeys exercise their right to.
Yeah, real quick, I seen somebody, my hopes, and they would kill their dog. I heard something, somebody, all the yelling and stuff that I didn't hear it, but I heard that one of the protesters said that they would kill their dog. That's a woman right there that's fed up with it, is not going to let somebody come in and destroy their lives and destroy everything they worked for and harm her husband, harm herself, or any of her animals. That right there, yeah, you see that fear in her eyes? That's fear, but fear can turn into, you know, that fight or flight. That's a fight look right there. She ain't running.
Defend themselves with the castle doctrine, and as such, as far as I know, they have the right to protect themselves using
Excellent point there, Vlad. Need more people like this to stand up.
Firearms in that state with lethal force. Now, there's a lot to be said about trigger discipline and muzzle control and a lot of the things that the McCloskeys probably did wrong in this scenario that most Second Amendment activists, firearm enthusiasts, and firearms trainers would agree was just done wrong.
As far as I'm concerned, when I saw this video, yes, there are things that were done wrong, but in a situation like this, there are no rules. There are no rules. Once they start stepping up on their property, a whole band of people stepping up on your property, knowing what's happened in the past, knowing what they've done to different cities, knowing, look at Chaz, look at Chop, whatever, how many, was it 2 people that were killed there and a few others shot, you know, this peace and loving place. And now they kick in this cast iron gate to come into a rich community. It's not their fault that they are successful and you're not. It's not their fault that they're successful and I'm not. I'm not going to kick in their gate and taunt them and freak them out. So when Canadian Prepper sits here in Canada, he's lucky to have a fucking BB gun. Pardon my French. Sorry, Miss Sister Minnie. Don't hop off because I said the F word. She reminds me of my mom. I'm going to get in trouble. But that's a woman right there who's had enough watching TV, and she refuses to let these people on her property and kick in their doors and harm them.
Now, it's easy to judge people from the outside and say, well, you should have did this and you should have did that. In a situation where adrenaline is high and maybe you've been watching, you know, reports on the news of rioting and looting going on, and of course now you see that your private property has been breached, obviously adrenaline is going to be high, and if you don't have a lot of training, you're probably going to be doing this kind of thing. You're probably going to be waving that gun around in a
And there's another thing. Look how they just think it's funny, you know. Look, take a picture of me with these honkies behind me. You know, these crackers behind me. Look, wearing my Black Lives Matter shirt. Yeah, we're not scared. Why on earth did they decide to stop right there before they came out and start walking towards their home? That's what I want to know. That man and his wife. I'm sorry, they had every right once they passed that freaking like right where he is right there. If he was in their direction and started walking towards his direction, they have the right as Americans to protect their lives over his life, and they could have lit him up like the 4th of July. Same thing with this this white guy right here. If he would have charged, could have made that head do like the watermelons in my videos, or just dropped them. They had no reason. These people didn't do nothing to you. They didn't do nothing. And a matter of fact, this couple right here were actually what's the word I'm looking for? They did an interview on them, and they backed Black Lives Matter. These are Democrats right here, liberals, that were all for Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? So they learned a lesson. And these idiots, I don't think they learned a lesson. But these are liberals right here. I saw them on CNN on some clips.
less than ideal manner, which may even be hysterical at some points in this video, where you're directly pointing the firearm at a person. And from
that's exactly what you do if somebody's around your property and you've got 30, 40, 50 people threatening to freaking storm your house and harm you, steal whatever, or kill your dog. That right there, that's what you do. Well, you should have that hand right there too as well. But enough is enough. Pardon my French, sister. Nah, I'm not even going to say it. Get the F off my property or take one of these in the chest.
The perspective of the laws of that state, you should never point a firearm at somebody unless you intend to use it, or unless they are a direct lethal threat to you.
Do they look like they were not a direct lethal threat? A band of hoodlums, white, black, brown, whatever the hell you want to call them, Antifa and Black Lives Matter. How could she not think that they were a direct threat after watching all the videos going on nationwide, burning houses down, people getting shot, freaking smashing windows in people's cars, looting, all that? She had every right to point that gun at their faces.
You at that time. So I think that's where obviously she made the mistake. And of course, both of their muzzle control was terrible. He had her painted half the time. It may have been the camera angle on the video, but both of them were swinging that gun around, and they easily, if they were in fact loaded, which I'm presuming they were, they could easily have hurt one of themselves.
Okay, one thing, Canadian prepper, guess what? Did any of those white trash and Black Lives Matter get into their home? Yeah, they were holding their guns not properly, okay? When you live that lifestyle and you live in the type of house like that in a gated community, you usually rely on security and all that, but they were smart. They bought guns. And guess what? How many people got in their house? 0. Did he die? No. Did his wife die? No.
In addition to one of the protesters. Now, some people might criticize them and say you should have never came out of your home in the first place, brandishing firearms in an aggressive
bullshit
manner. But I guess, you know, to their defense in this respect, and once again, this is all heat of the moment type stuff, I can imagine a scenario where they thought that, you know, their property was going to be ravaged. And, you know, it's kind of like a critical mass sort of thing where if people start coming onto the lawn, then it doesn't take them that long to get into the house. And all of a sudden somebody throws something through the window, and then
If Black Lives Matter and Antifa were crazy enough to break into banks, loot banks, that's federal. Why on earth would they give a shit about breaking into these homes? If those people weren't home, or even if they were home, and you saw that one man that was shot in the head, an ex-police officer, retired police captain, I believe, who was shot in the forehead and killed over a flat screen TV because he was helping his friends protect his pawn shop. You think they care about these people? Come on now, man. I've lost all respect in Canadian Prepper on this one. I'll even go back. Just ignorant. My opinion, though.
I can imagine a scenario where they thought that, you know, their property was going to be ravaged, and, you know, it's kind of like a critical mass sort of thing where if people start coming onto the lawn, then it doesn't take them that long to get into the house, and all of a sudden somebody throws something through the window.
I'll go back one more time. Sorry. There's a place where he says, I believe he says it's better to stay off or stay in your house. Let me tell you all something. If you're in a situation and you do own firearms and this continues to go on and you see a mob come up, you get your happy ass out there. You pop a couple rounds in the grass. Don't pop them up in the air. Aim them like they're, you know, they can't tell if it's aimed towards them. And then bum rush the shit out of them. You know, not all the way, but scare the hell out of them, because a lot of them are college Play-Doh eating, glitter snorting, freaking whack job. The only guns they know how to shoot is off of whatever them video games are. Even I don't know, Call of Duty and stuff. But enough is enough. Stand up for yourself, no matter what color you are. If this was a black man and that was his house, and that was a black woman and that was her house, or Mexican, they have every right to defend their home. But I'm listening to how Mr. Canadian Prepper's talking. Like I said, I don't even know if he's probably only allowed to own a pellet gun in Canada. The laws there suck.
He had her painted half the time. It may have been the camera angle on the video, but both of them were swinging that gun around, and they easily, if they were in fact loaded, which I'm presuming they were, they could easily have hurt one of themselves, in addition to one of the protesters. Now, some people might criticize them and say you should have never came out of your home in the first place, brandishing firearms in an aggressive manner. But
that's bull. That's what I'm talking about. Don't come out of your home brandishing weapons and this and that. Give me a freaking break. Every time late at night, if I hear something, we just had some bears take the trash across the street. But if I hear something, I'm coming out there locked and loaded. I mean, I can throw down with the hands, no problem. Hey, Sister Queen's in the house. If you could send me your email. Are you on break, or are you off work today? If you want, you can come up. All my phone numbers got deleted out of my phone after it rebooted some crap. But like I said, when he says, "Oh, don't come out brandishing weapons," no. When you do that, that's when you slow people down. Be like, whoa, 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 man, we can't just go in there. We can't just kick in these doors. You know, we care so much about our lives. Black Lives Matter. Bullshit. You white people holding those signs, Black Lives Matter. You're getting paid. You can care less. Give me that shit. You're just using this opportunity for anarchy and to steal, rob, rape. Seattle, when Chaz was started and CHOP and all that, rape, assault, and theft went up 300%. 300% in that short period of time. That's insane.
But I guess, to their defense in this respect, and once again, this is all heat of the moment type stuff. I can imagine a scenario where they thought that, their property was going to be ravaged. And, it's kind of like a critical mass sort of thing where if people start coming onto the lawn, then it does.
I truly don't think they're worried about their property. They're worried about their own safety. They're worried about, hey, I bet husband, worried about some of these guys raping his wife. And if you think, oh, well, she's ugly, you know how many people are arrested each year for raping women in their 70s, in their 80s, and their 90s? You can't trust none of these freaking wackos.
Doesn't take them that long to get into the house, and all of a sudden somebody throws something through the window, and then it's pretty much on, right? So these things, once they spiral out of control, it's very hard to get them under control. And perhaps that was their mindset at the time, that we don't want this to go further than the perimeter of our actual property, even though the entire area was private property. So I'm sure that's how, in their minds at the time anyways, they justified that more offensive approach. Now, I understand the strategy of defensively posturing and showing that you have the means to protect yourself in a very direct way, so to stop any initial infringement which might escalate into a full-blown riot on their property. I understand.
I'm telling you, people, if this continues like this, we are on a tipping point of a full-blown civil war. I don't even know how it would be brought up between colors. I think it would be left versus right. But, you see these cars right here? This car right here, you can't see because, you're probably on your phone or whatever. That rear window is completely smashed out. That window smashed out. And then all of a sudden, you see all these articles in the paper that they're showing. It says people running over protesters, peaceful protesters, running over. I'm going to tell you something. If I'm in a car like that and I get bum rushed and I'm not locked and loaded, my ass is going to stomp on the gas pedal, because they're not going to take my life just because their agenda or whatever. No. You want to get out there and you want to protest like that, and that's not peaceful protesting. And you got to flip the coin. You got to realize, you know what? Today could be the day I die. If I'm going to be out there bashing people's windows, this guy in the car right here, he might have a freaking, I don't know, Glock 9, 357 mag, snub nose. Boom, I might get shot in the face. And this person legally would be found innocent, but now you got lawmakers that are going with a lot of these protesters. And when you get to, the bare bones, when it comes to Black Lives Matter, I got a video on that too. I guarantee it'll blow so many people away. Actually, I didn't even know George Soros. I knew a bunch of white global elitists funded Black Lives Matter, but I had no idea that George Soros did. I know Soros funds Antifa, but he donated $650,000 to the lead men in Black Lives Matter. You know where that money could go? I think 950 million or something like that. It didn't go to all the African Americans in a lot of these, the hoods and all, and fixing up schools and all that. Hell no. It went straight in the pockets of these senators and some of these lead Black Lives Matter movement people. The ones you never see on scene, the ones that are always pushing it. The ones you see getting interviewed on TV. But the ones that are out here doing the work for Black Lives Matter, and they're getting pennies on the dollar, and nothing's happening to their community. It's all about money and power, and they've been fooled, just like Antifa's been fooled. It's not black and white. Oh, he's black he got fooled, or he's white, he got fooled. No, it don't matter what color you are.
And that through and through. But where I think they made the mistake, obviously, was when they started pointing the firearm at people. And obviously, I don't think the husband pointed the firearm, but the wife sure did. And that was very, very
No, it
irresponsible and
wasn't.
dangerous. And even if you believe fully that they had every right to point guns at people who are
You can stick your sorry ass in Canada. It was very, very irresponsible. Very irresponsible. Talk about the people in Canada, or not in Canada, but this is a Canadian prepper. You want to talk about very irresponsible. Like I said, in Canada, I don't even know if you can own a freaking BB gun. Yeah, you can go sports shooting and stuff like that.
might escalate into, a full-blown riot on their property. I understand that through and through. But where I think they made the mistake, obviously, was when they started pointing the firearm at people. And obviously, I don't think the husband pointed the firearm, but the wife sure did. And that was very, very irresponsible and dangerous. And even if you believe fully that they had every right to point guns at people.
Once again, did anybody break into their homes? Did anybody harm them? Did anybody beat up their husband? Did anybody rape the wife? You remember that video a while back where those 3 or 4 black men were beating the crap out of that white woman and her husband with 2x4s and stuff because they were trying to break into a jewelry store? Okay, I'm telling you, Canadian prepper, sometimes he's got some good things, sometimes he's just ignorant.
People who are on their property, which you may, there's another aspect of personal protection that they are not paying attention to. Number one, if even a few people within that crowd had weapons or had access to weapons, then they open themselves up to a big problem. Then they're going to find themselves in a gunfight. And judging by
you know how many people had guns in that crowd, you idiot from Canada? You think it was just her and her husband? You don't think all those people, freaking the skinheads, the freaking whatever, Black Lives Matter, there wasn't a bunch of them that freaking were packing heat? Man, I don't know what fairy tale you're on, freaking idiot. Trust me, I guarantee you there was probably 10, 15 other guns sitting out there in there. But they knew they weren't going to get shot, but they just realized, okay, well, this place we ain't going to be able to rob, but we can make a mockery of them. Don't tell me that they didn't have guns, that she and her husband was the only ones with guns. I'm sorry, this video pissed me off, so I got a bitch and complain about it.
Lack of footwear and their lack of trigger discipline and muzzle control.
Oh my God. Lack of footwear. I guess now if you're a woman, you have to wear stilettos if you're going to shoot a gun. And if you're a male, you need some Timberlands or you need some other kind of real expensive foot gear when firing to save your life. What a freaking idiot. I got to hear that again. What the? I swear I didn't watch this whole thing through. What a... Ooh, I want to say it so bad. What a freaking idiot. But
crowd had weapons or had access to weapons, then they open themselves up to a big problem. Then they're going to find themselves.
Stephanie, I'm playing Canadian Prepper. One of the videos that I disagree with him.
In a gunfight. And judging by the woman's lack of footwear and their lack of trigger discipline and muzzle control, clearly they weren't prepared enough to deal with a crowd of that magnitude.
Okay, when you see a huge crowd come out of nowhere like the zombie apocalypse, do you go for your gun or do you say, oh, wait, let me put my shoes on first? Shoes and socks. Honey, where's my socks at? Oh, they're in the second drawer. Okay, well, they're kicking in the windows now. What shoes do you think I should wear? Oh, I don't know, something that looks good, kind of, maybe with some white and some black, straps or something, and Okay, honey, what do you think I should wear? I don't know, maybe some of your hiking boots or maybe some of your dress shoes, depending on what you're wearing. You freaking idiot.
in a gunfight. And judging by the woman's lack of footwear and their lack of trigger discipline and muzzle control, clearly
That's what I've said, Stephanie. I said he's lucky if he can even own a BB gun, Canadian prepper. All right, I'll bring this back a second. I'll shut up.
the crowd had weapons or had access to weapons, then they open themselves up to a big problem. Then they're going to find themselves in a gunfight. And judging by the woman's lack of footwear and their lack of trigger discipline and muzzle control, clearly they weren't prepared enough to deal with a crowd of that magnitude in that sort of way. And in addition to that, obviously they've now gained notoriety. So they've not only been doxxed heavily, meaning that their address has been disclosed, and obviously their reputations have come under scrutiny, even as many people have been.
Who gives a fuck about their reputation? They're still alive, and nobody kicked in their door, broke their windows, you idiot.
Supporting them, I don't doubt that they've now received some threats. Now, if they were just open carrying in a ready position, that would allow them to engage if they needed to, but not directly pointing guns at people, not rattling the hornet's nest at all. If they were doing that, then I think that would be far more ideal for everybody's safety in that situation, including their own.
If you don't know the gun laws in the United States and certain different states, and you're from Canada or you're from Australia or whatever, keep your mouth shut. When you have a large crowd approaching going onto your lawn, going towards your house while you're inside, you have every right to step outside and point your weapon and say, get the fuck off my property. Pardon my French. We have that right in the United States, depending on what liberal freaking state you're in. But this ain't Canada, okay? You don't just stay in your house and hide, or you walk out with a gun and say, I'm not going to point this gun at you. I'm Canadian. I'm going to point it at the grass. I'm not going to hurt you with it. I just want you to see it. No. If you feel that you're being threatened like they were, because they have what's called a computer or they have what's called a TV. They have seen the violence that's gone around throughout the United States every day. And guess what? They stood up for themselves. They stood up for each other as a team, and the wife wasn't harmed. The husband wasn't harmed. Nothing happened to their home. It wasn't, they didn't bum rush it and smash everything. What they did was right. So Canadian Prepper, you're a freaking moron on this video. I like you on other videos, but this one, just stick to your own gun laws.
And they may have been less of a meme had they just done that. But it's likely that, the media would have taken this and run with it one way or another anyways. But perhaps a bit less so.
Did he say less of a meme? I would rather be a meme and made fun of all over the internet instead of watching my wife get beaten and raped while I got beaten. What an idiot. It's so hard for me to shut up. Sister Angel Cortita, hope all is well. Happy 4th. Be safe. Blessings, everyone. Shoot me a text if you can.
And more favorably had they done that instead. Then this may have not been as controversial, and in fact many more people would have sympathized what they were going through, and they wouldn't have put their careers and their lives in jeopardy henceforth after all of this had transpired. Now, they may make the argument that they needed to exhibit that degree of aggression in order to prevent the situation from escalating. It didn't.
All right, dumbass. What about if there was people around here with AR-15 surrounding that building right there? And what if there were people surrounding, I believe this is Target. If there was citizens surrounding this whole place with handguns and AR-15. You think they would look like that? I guarantee you there wouldn't be a crack in the glass. This guy's an idiot, man. I've totally lost all respect for him. Why don't you do your, no offense to anybody that's from Canada, but do your news in Canada and your own gun laws. I think you're allowed to throw Play-Doh at people, and that's probably a third-degree felony or something in Canada if you throw Play-Doh at somebody.
To exhibit that degree of aggression in order to prevent the situation from escalating. It didn't appear that it was that intense on the brief video footage that we've seen, but then again, you know, we are not there. We don't know what the atmosphere is. We don't know what the intent of the protest.
That look right there is, if you touch my wife, if you break in my house, I'm going to put a hole in your head. I'm going to make your head look like a freaking watermelon. This is my Second Amendment right there. That's a man that said, you know what, enough's enough. Get the F off my property. Stay away from my wife. Stay away from my house. Stay away from everything that I've earned, or I will pump you full of lead. Right there. I wish I could get that picture and have it blown up. I'd hang it up in this freaking office right now. But no, he's the bad guy.
Protesters were, or the rioters, whatever you want to call them, or the people who were trespassing were. But I think with better training, this situation could likely have been resolved much better in such a way.
How was it not resolved? Nobody broke in their house. They all left. Nobody was charged with anything. They thought about charging them. Saw it on the news yesterday morning. But guess what? They're not going to be charged.
Which didn't necessarily put them in the limelight, because now they made themselves out to be a very big target. So at what cost has defending their home in this manner brought to them? That's just a conversation that I think needs to be had. It's not my place to say whether it was right or wrong. What happened, like I said, adrenaline happens, and of course here in Canada, if you were to do something like this, you would likely immediately go to jail, because our laws are much different. You can only
you would go to jail because you're a bunch of idiots and sissies. And like I said, you're lucky if you can own a BB gun. That's why a lot of people get killed, knife injuries, and get get the shit beat out of them, their head stomped in, because they cannot conceal carry. You get 6-7 guys kicking your ribs in, getting your face stomped. Yeah, you have every right to pull out a handgun if you have a concealed weapons permit and protect your life. But no, not Canada. That's what's pissing me off, is he's sitting there trying to make a video about United States laws, our gun laws. I'm sorry, this may not bother anybody, but I was watching it, and I wanted to share it.
Not my place to say whether it was right or wrong. What happened, like I said, adrenaline happens, and of course here in Canada, if you were to do something like this, you would likely immediately go to jail, because our laws are much different. You can only ever do something like this if you feel as though your life is in danger and that you are actually in fear of losing your life. But if from a strategic standpoint, pointing a firearm like that at people when you don't intend to use it in a very hysterical manner, that doesn't seem like the optimal way.
Now, how on earth did that woman or man, or they weren't sure if they were going to have to use it? You know how many videos? Go watch cop shooting videos where somebody will just be standing there all relaxed and just go after them full force with a knife or with a gun or something else. See, he's putting words into these people's minds. The husband and wife team. They didn't know if somebody was going to bum rush them. That's why you carry your gun. If somebody's doing illegal activities outside of your house, the backside of your house, or inside your house, you just pump them full of lead. Lead to the head.
To handle this situation, fortunately, nobody was hurt. The McCloskeys themselves weren't hurt. So at least in the short term, their reactive approach, which, like I said, it lacked.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I think you got to have concealed weapons for a Nerf gun, too, in Canada. All right, I'm gonna shut up so y'all can hear this.
A lot of fundamental aspects of firearms training seem to have worked, but in the long term, it's probably going to bring a lot more stress for them than it was worth. Now, let's talk about where they're living in the first place. Now, a lot of people will say you shouldn't live in the city because this kind of stuff can happen in instances of civil unrest. Myself personally, I would never be caught dead in a house that looked like that big in the city this day and age. I would take the Warren Buffett approach. You know, you buy yourself a $680,000 home. You're one of the richest men in the world. You don't flaunt it. If you want
That
to,
wasn't even in the city. That was in the outskirts, rural area, whatever you want to call it. Man, it's just stupid. And if you could, Canadian prepper, you would live in that house. Don't lie, you just can't afford it. If somebody gave me that house, I'd move right in and then I'd put a for sale sign on it. I'd sell it and buy a cabin out in the woods.
don this level of material affluence in today's current climate, then by all means go ahead. That is absolutely your right to do so, but just be prepared to defend it from hundreds of people who may now come back with a vengeance. In this case, you were able to do so, but unless you have a private security firm or something, or some means, or some larger group that could help you defend a property like this, in my personal opinion, you can count me out. I'm more so going to take the gray man approach when it comes to.
You can count me out because I don't think my BB gun or my Nerf gun will take them out. And I'm the Canadian prepper. I'm too cocky and I think I know everything. Oh my God, I used to like this dude.
Where I choose a home, but that said, to each their own. You got a really big target on your back this day and age when there's a lot of people who are out of work. Some of them ain't got nothing to lose, and you got a whole lot to lose. That's not a situation you want to be in, or you can be in that situation, but you can be in it far more strategically, where you are strategically relocated to a place which is.
That's why you come kicking out the front door, pointing guns and weapons if you got a huge crowd coming after you. If they're walking down your streets, there was people starting to walk up to their front door. Freaking idiot. Should they have offered them some tea, talked about cow farts and tried to talk them down and, chopped up some lines of glitter for them to snort? No, they come out the front door, locked and loaded. And guess what? Once again, what happened to them? Nothing. What happened to their house? Nothing. Because the cowards didn't want to get shot and killed. What do these guys got? Huh? What do they got? They're protecting certain parts of property. Let me go back here. I'm sure I missed it already. Damn it. Yeah, I missed it.
Their own. You got a really big target on your back this day and age when there's a lot of people who are out of work. Some of them ain't got nothing to lose, and you got a whole lot to lose. And that's not a situation you want to be in, where you can be in that situation, but you can be in it far more strategically, where you are strategically relocated to a place which is going to be lower risk. I made a video on strategic relocation. You can check that out.
AB, the last time you got handcuffed, you cried like a little girl. That's what your son told me.
Here. Now, it's easy to echo the advice of the All-American Prepper and just say, yeah, you should, uproot your entire life and move out of the city, and then you have to drive to work every day for an hour, and you got to take your kids out of school, and they got to go to some, rural school, or else you got to homeschool them. It's very easy to say that everybody should just move to a rural environment. It's much easier said than done because a lot of people have jobs within the cities, or they rely on larger populations to run their businesses, or whatever the case might be. So I understand, how.
Can everybody real quick in the house put a 1 if you love Sister Angel Cortita, even if you don't feel like love, you think of her as a good friend and a good person. If you could just put a 1 real quick. Just hit one, or you can hit two if you don't like her. And then I'll block you. All right, got a 1 from Michael Gale. I'm trolling your ass, AB1. There's a reason why I'm asking you all this. $15 watching. I got 1, 2, 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. JB Walter 1, most definitely. The reason why I say this, no matter what country, yeah, it won't hurt my feelings. Yeah, a lot of people are watching. I don't even know, but it'll probably shoot up in a minute. It's delayed. You see these men with helmets? I don't even know what country that is, to be honest with you. But men and women across the globe have to wear these helmets and have to, these shields. These are pretty cool shields. I guess they're whoever makes their stuff, wherever they're from, must like Star Wars or something. Those are pretty cool. But what I'm saying is these people here are no different than these people in a sense. They have families. I guarantee you dude's got a mom or dad or, siblings that he loves and kids. So does this one here. Everybody wants to go home safe at night. And everybody thinks that the cops are the devil because they're dressed in riot gear. Yeah, you got to have shin guards. You got to have helmets so when a bottle comes flying through the air and smashes your head, it doesn't take you out. Or a rock comes flying, it doesn't go and hit you, and you lose your eyeball because some, 19-year-old little punk who probably lives in a big-ass house threw a big old rock at you and hit you in the eye. They're just as, I hate to say it, a lot of them are in fear just as much as these idiots. But the difference is a lot of these right here are all jacked up on meth and stuff, so they don't feel no pain. But officers want to go home. They want to be with their families. But you think they want to sit around and deal with your crap and get spit on and urine balloons thrown at them? Oh, yeah. Can't wait to go to work today. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to get shit thrown on me. Yep. Oh, hey, I hope I get a freaking balloon filled with hippie urine right in the face. Idiots, man.
Rely on larger populations to run their businesses or whatever the case might be. So I understand, how hard it can be to do that, but I think that should be the long-term goal of anybody who is in the preparedness mindset, to at least try to remove yourself from places of very, very high population density, and especially if you find yourself in a palace like this, but you're going to have to live with this kind of civil unrest when people come knocking. Now, in terms of bugging in or bugging out in a scenario like this, here is the real danger which could potentially present itself. Now that the protesters know that they're going to be met with this kind of resistance, what's this?
I hate to say this, and even if Sister Queen's in the house, where he's holding the sign, George Floyd, please, I can't. This whole movement, I hate to say, is no longer about George Floyd. Because look how many other black children and black men and women have been killed during these riots, even been killed by their own people. Now this is just sheer anarchy. That's all it is. That's all it is. Sheer, civil unrest. You could talk to probably about 10 or 11 of these people here and say, you know who George Floyd is? They'd be like, who? No, I'm here for Black Lives Matter. And that's the truth.
Say that they're not going to bring armaments to these protests in the future. Now, most of these protests, I should say, are peaceful. However, this one, they were breaching private property. So once you do that, then you, of course, are trespassing. But who's to say now that this isn't going to up the ante with regards to how these protests are conducted? And what happens when other people start, to brandish firearms back? Is that how this is all going to escalate? And then at that point, then, that's when you need to have a bug out plan if you live in the cities. I've done a lot of videos on bugging out from the cities, from an urban environment. You can go and check.
All right, I've had enough of him. You want to talk about bugging out and all that stuff? Look how long did that Chad place, Chad and Chop? They went ahead and booted them out quick. But that was a couple of key points. If you want to finish watching that video, to me, it's just complete ignorance. Complete ignorance when he talks about protecting yourself and how, the way they were holding their guns. Yeah, we all know that. Now if they walked out there and there wasn't a whole bunch of people and there wasn't a march going in your front yard that is known for breaking into homes, hurting people, breaking glass, stealing, robbing, and you've seen them holding the guns like that, you'd be like, hey, stupid. That's not how you hold a pistol. That's not how you hold get this off here. That's not how you hold an AK or whatever, You hold it like this. Those people were scared to death. My daughter lives in a overly large. I was thinking lovely. Overly large house that they happen to be restoring. We have neighborhoods of these houses, a labor of love. A lot of sweet. You have older homes and stuff. We have those here in Wisconsin, pardon my French, where they do. You get houses from like the 1890s or the early 1900s, or then some later than that. They're beautiful, and you can get them cheap. Costs a lot of money to restore them, but just because you have a large house. But what's so hypocritical about this is Black Lives Matter and Antifa do not like the rich. They don't like rich people at all. They think they're like the Bernie Sanders. We want free stuff, and African Americans, they want free stuff because they were slaves. Well, guess what? Your great grandparents were slaves. You're not slaves. My great grandparents were Native American Indians, and they were slaughtered by Europeans, by the Americans, so to speak. And the Welsh, or the 1/4 Welsh Irish I have, had to work 10 years as a indentured servant. You see me on here crying, saying I want money from the government. Y'all killed my grandma and my grandpa. No. That's the past. You can't blame somebody for what's going on now for something that happened 150 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago. Shoot, slavery was around before the Bible. Anyways, hey, howdy you all. Everybody, do me a favor. Sister Angel Cortita. Just say an extra prayer for her every time she goes out at night, because she's right there in the thick of things. I just saw a video the other night, Nashville, Tennessee. Might not be as bad as it was, but it could pop off anytime. All it takes is something to go wrong. And it doesn't matter if it's an African American police officer. It don't matter if it's a white officer, male officer, female officer. If somebody does something stupid and they're trying to take the life of that officer or beat their bash their heads into concrete, and they have to, because they want to go see their kids, and they happen to take the life of that person, and that person happens to be African American. Well, guess what? Riots going to pop off in Nashville, wherever it happens, and it's going to spread. This is just going to keep coming. Yeah, you can come up. And I just heard something too, AB. I was getting ready to tell you. They put out, Black Lives Matter put out a statement. I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday. A warning to any white men, driving 18-wheelers. I don't know if AB knows what I'm talking about. Any white man driving 18-wheelers, better watch out. You got a bounty on your head. I heard that this morning. All right, brother, I just sent you that link. And how stupid is that? If you want food brought to your neighborhoods and stuff like that, why would Black Lives Matter and stuff put out, a threat like any white man driving a 18-wheeler, you better watch out. Pretty much, we're going to shoot you. What's up, AB, brother?
That's bullshit. Shooting me? No. I'm going to say I've seen plenty of them on my Facebook, trucking things. I've seen bullets and rocks and stuff. Yeah, it's true. But here's my point
that
of
one
view.
guy, real quick, that one guy just got his truck lit up. What was it, 18 rounds, 45?
Yeah, 45 saw it. Yeah.
You saw that? Yeah. Just being a truck driver?
Okay. These events have gone on for the last 10 years. Now they're being publicized more with more hate. This has gone on with rocks and bricks and bullets through truck drivers' windshield. Now they're being publicized more. I'm not saying it's something not to be worried about.
Mm-hmm.
It is something. The percentage, and I will go with this. Portland, Oregon, Washington, all these places we're seeing, me and you see it on the wakes when they put it up at night. These are small amounts of people. And what I do know, I've got friends that's got friends in low places that are criminal. I don't want to call them criminals, but I will say that these groups of people are sitting back waiting. And that's the same thing I'm doing. I'm not a criminal. I ain't going out here. I'm not going to a protest. But if they come to my house, and there's nobody on here that can say one of them's come to their house, I guarantee you. Justin, if they come to your house, have they protested your house? Dead. Okay.
There would be some.
They know that. They know that. They know that. They're blowing this up in the media and all that. They're making people like me pissed off, people like you pissed off, people like that's on here, Michael Gale, Angel. Now, Angel, it's her job. If they do a call, and she's going out to see them, so she's got to go face to face with this shit every night.
Yeah.
But it's being blowed up. It's making me mad. But I'm also sitting back, and I'm looking out my garage. I haven't seen nobody here, nobody in my town yet. Is it going to come? There is an extreme possibility between now and November that this shit will ramp up and maybe touch one of our houses. How many people's in the chat? I can't even tell. How many people's in the chat? 20, 30?
No, we had 20. Now we're down to 15, not because you came on.
It is because I came on.
No, those people that were hopping off anyways.
So here's what I'm going to say. I'll say, let's just say there's 50 in chat right now. If there's 50 of you, write this date down. Between now and the first year, let's see if 1 out of 50 has a issue with what's going on, protesting, somebody showing up their house, because the percentage is small. That does not downplay that we don't need to be prepared. And keep to your morals. And our morals are honesty and trying. There's nobody on this channel that's a criminal. I don't know them. If they are, Angel will lock their ass up.
Well, I know Ms. Mary is.
She's a criminal.
She's been wanted by the FBI for a long time. But now, you know what? People like me living out in the middle of nowhere, which hopefully not for long, until I find out what's wrong with my. They say I might have heart failure or whatever. Probably all these cigarettes. I don't care, but you're never safe because I'm less than 6 hours from Chicago, and then Milwaukee is that what it's called, or shoot,
You're kind of in between. Yeah, you're kind of in between. Yeah, you're close to Milwaukee, and at any point in time, I get your point. Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Why are you saying my name, Justin? I didn't say Black Queen. I don't know. If you want to come up, you can come up. I was telling you, you can send me, give me your email. I can bring you up. But no matter where you're at, people are going to run out of food, or this is going to spread like wildfire even further. And a lot of people that live out in the woods or live out, they have farms and stuff. Not many of them use banks. A lot of them have guns. A lot of them have gold, silver, this and stuff, relics that were passed down. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I've been one. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, a lot of these old farmhouses might be, next. So don't think, oh, I live way out in the middle of nowhere, I'm safe. No, because usually if you get a house that's here and their neighbors, the closest neighbors, like 3 miles away, and it's a nice house, it's an old farmhouse, but they got old cars, classic cars. They got money somewhere. They got jewelry somewhere. They got, you know what I mean? So you're not safe in the big cities. You're not safe out in the country. The only good thing about country is you got more time to lock and load. You know what I mean?
In the next 6 months, I agree. In the next 6 months, this is going to ramp up between. Yeah, in the next 6 months, there's the percentages of this happening the scenario that you're talking about. The percentages are going to go up. Right now, no, they haven't been, but they're coming. And you said you didn't know if I was in.
That makes me feel special. All of us.
She's at work listening to you.
Sister Queen, she's at work, but she's listening. Thank you, sister.
But all people. I mean, I got redneck friends that's white. I got redneck friends that's black.
Mm-hmm.
Country. Make sure I got some country friends. And every one of them, just like along with me, is like, I don't need that shit at my house. Don't come to my house with that. But they're also not going to the cities. Now, I just read something. There was a 60-year-old man that was shot because he came up to a protest.
I saw that.
Make sure where the hell you going. I mean, that's what I tell my wife every day. Mm-hmm. Keep your pistol in the car. Pay attention to your surroundings. Know what you're doing. Know what you're getting into.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Oh, God, I hate using that term. Damn it, Justin.
Yeah, but you got to. You got to be wise. And I know you got to, be looking around. I'm not like one of those wackos. But as soon as I walk through Walmart, which anyways, out because of the bullet in my arm and steel plate, 4 screws in my jaw, I always set off the alarms when I go into Walmart and stuff. People look at me. So I'm always looking around anyways. But I don't walk in there like, oh, my God, is that guy a shooter or this and that? No, I keep an eye on what
you eyeball people. But know where your surroundings are. Pay attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Know where the hell you're going. If you're gonna go like where I live, if you're gonna go Atlanta at 2:00 in the morning, I understand there might be some shenanigans that go on. And why put yourself in that situation? I'm not driving much right now because I mean, it's still, again, like I said earlier, percentages of having bullets shot through my truck are slim to none. But if I see some cat that pulls a gun on me or an innocent person, I will react. You have to react. You got to react. I am not going to tolerate hurting an innocent person or myself or my family member.
And another thing, too, is I think mainly your reason why you don't want to go out is once you pull that gun.
I got a daughter at home. I mean, my wife's working. Yeah, but go ahead.
No, but what I'm saying is nowadays, if you pull that gun and you shoot somebody,
You're going
There's
to
a
jail.
strong, yeah, you're going to jail because our laws are crumbling. You know what I mean? That self-defense law is crumbling and breaking because you have all these politicians that want to, win the election next year, this and that. And that's basically how it is. Real quick, Sister Angel Cortez said, just had a
This is go ahead.
said just had a family home broke into and
Family home.
family home and broke into out in Cumberland Lake area, and that is
I know where the Cumberland Lake area is. That's kind of outside of her area.
Her area. Okay. So don't think that you're safe in the woods or the mountains. Someone is always desperate, and that's what I mean. There'll be a time when the thugs, and when I say thugs, it could be a white thug, it could be a black thug, it could be a Chinese thug. Have you watched Jackie Chan movies? It was a gangster. It doesn't matter. A hungry, not even hungry. Just, they don't have to be hungry. Somebody that wants but don't want to work for it. A thug, a thief, a scumbag. No matter what color you are, they find out. Oh, you know what? There's a lot of money out there in the wood. Down these back roads and stuff, and that's where it's going to come next. And like you said, within 6 months.
I'll state this. Every time I leave in that truck, and for years I have carried with me, not once have I had to draw that weapon, and I don't want to. Neither is my wife. But we are all, she's walking out of the house, we are all aware of what we need to do, and make sure that each family member, even children, both our children, are schooled on using a weapon, and that could save a life.
I had Haven shot her first 12 gauge at 5. I got pictures, but I had to help her. But she's been shooting BB guns and 22s since she was 5 years old.
There you
go. You have to. And Jackson, I had to take a video down because people were freaking out. I was holding a piece of paper out. He was about 50 yards away with the 22. You remember that one? I had to erase it because people were, oh my God, you're a terrible person. But Jackson was hitting like this his pattern. Well, I was just holding with the 22 rifle.
Educate the adults in your house. Educate your kids, and make sure they understand that. I mean, a weapon is for two things: it's hunting or killing. That's just. That's like a 9mm. It's only designed to hurt somebody.
Yeah, it's not designed for hunting.
Not a hunting weapon.
No,
so these things, make sure that you understand, you educate, and you treat that weapon like it's your partner, whoever your partner may be. That you don't want to be ugly, mean, and you want to know how to use it and get nice things out of it. So, and
exactly.
don't. I'm just telling people, the next 6 months and after this next 6 months, that's what I see is coming up.
Yeah, especially right before the election.
Other than that, I just wanted to come up. And,
did you see that?
First of all, I know you like glitter. You picked at me. I know you're a glitter lover.
Hey, what'd your son say about the video I made between me and you?
Between me and you, live on Facebook, YouTube.
Not live.
Yeah.
Just like
he got a kick out. Hey, I said,
Okay.
you see what Justin made of him? Made a video. He's tell Justin he could.
That's all I need to know.
I think we got him on that one.
Yeah, that was classic. Ms. Mary says, found a guy camping on my property a few weeks ago.
I remember that.
Said he was on a mission from God. I told him I'd help him see God if he didn't leave. Good for you, Sister Ms. Mary.
While holding a stick in your hand. I bet you didn't have a stick in your hand.
Hopefully she had a boomstick.
I'm gonna give. Let's see. I'm gonna pick on here. Look, I'm gonna give a shout out to Angel, the Queen, because I like diversity. I like hearing other people's opinion. because I'm just look. I'll say this, and I don't mean nothing bad about it. I'm just old cracker. Old cracker don't know nothing.
I don't know what I am because I'm all mostly Native American, so I don't know if I got a little cracker in me, a little honky in me. I don't know. I got
Michael Gale, shout out to you.
Yeah, my love, brother Michael Gale, JB Walter in the house.
West Texas. Yeah, I'm trying to hit everybody. I don't know how many. JB Walter, yeah. AB, hey AB, what are you doing?
Oh, don't talk to AB.
Weirdo.
Don't talk to AB. He's a jerk. My daughter shoots with me beside her, of course, teaching her right if she needs to protect herself.
Did you get knocked off? Oh.
Did I get knocked off? Nope, you got knocked off. You froze up for a second.
No, no, you froze up. It's your fault. It's your fault.
No. I'm looking at my phone here, bub.
Anyway, hey, look, Justin.
Jumping off.
Do you know what this weekend is?
July 4th.
That's our independence. That's
no, I know. That's very special. That's one thing I didn't like about. I'm not going to say it, but one of the Watchmen channels always said that we never gained our independence. That we didn't. We're still owned by the crown. Blah 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 blah. Whatever.
Well, there's something to be said for that, but you know what? Right now, I'm sitting in my garage. I got my fan going. It's hot as hell here in Georgia. I done sweated 3 times a day and took 1 shower, and
like that,
there you go. Yeah, oh my God, it's warm up there.
It's hot.
It is 5 o'clock. I just got into my refrigerator, and I'm having one of our local beers because I don't support the big boys.
Yeah, you're telling me about that. Sweetwater.
That is a local IPA, and I support all local companies. You said the big company's been sold out, and that's Anheuser-Busch, Coors, Miller, and the rest of you guys. I'll call you out. I support local business. Support your local business. Support that, and understand that we are still somewhat free, even though we're censored like hell. And if I said a few wrong words, I would get booted off and all that. But
like I say, you can only poke the bear so long. And Ms. Mary said 30-06.
06.
I love my 30-06. But what did you just say? Because I had a
support your local businesses.
Yeah. Support your local businesses. And I'm telling you all, just as you know, it won't be long. It may be months. But like I said, even if you don't have go buy you a little Mossberg Plinkster at Walmart or whatever.
We had a discussion last night at Wakes, Justin.
Uh-huh. Can you hear me?
Well, your internet connection is pretty bad.
Yeah.
We had that discussion on the Wakes last night. She noticed going out that a lot of small, your mom and pop restaurants, businesses of all sort are either closed or they're in trouble. And then I had I'll just go ahead and say, I'm not going to hide nothing. There was a discussion about dealing with the SBA last night, and pretty agitated discussion. I don't get agitated much, but there was one individual on the Wakes last night that about pissed me off.
Right.
But
was he in the shape of a peanut?
No, I like peanut. No, hell no. Peanut's
I wouldn't say Tim.
How about he was in the shape of a raindrop?
Oh man.
Bingo.
Man, that dude. That's why.
I've never gotten mad. Last night, I muted my mic and set my phone down. I said I got to be calm. But anyway,
real quick, when he's sober, you can talk to him. He sounded. Yeah. See, when he's trash,
he sounded slurring.
Yeah, when he's trash, he's a total dick, and I've told him that before. But when he's sober, he's a smart dude, and he's understanding. You know what I'm saying? But me and him had an argument about the Bible. First, he was talking about, you could tell he was getting smashed more and more. We were talking about the Bible, and he was talking about scripture. Towards the end of the conversation, it was me, Tim Truth, and him. And he's like, F you and your stupid effing Bible, blah, blah. So I was like, whatever, man. Keep talking like that. You don't end up in hell. But hey, supposed to get my hernia surgery.
Hey, it is the 4th of July. Get your
Check it out.
hernia fixed. We talked about that. It is the 4th of July. It is the 4th of July. Everybody enjoy. I'm fixing to cook some chicken wings for dinner. Enjoy family. And I've got my aggravating son here, which I love him to death, but he sure is aggravating.
Look at me. Look at my foot, man.
Oh, damn.
Both of them are like that. This is in the camper. So I go yesterday.
This morning.
I go yesterday to get my for the surgery, and Jennifer, she had to drive me, you know, because you can't drive by yourself. And she's like, "Show them your feet," and da 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 da. I had to pull my pant legs up and stuff, so they put my my surgery on hold because now I have to go get have some heart tests and stuff because they said when your feet swell up like that for no reason, it's either your liver
Are both your feet that way?
The right one turned. I can show you right now. It's almost the same size. Wasn't before. I got pictures here. I know you got to go somewhere, but I could look. See,
no, I gotta go. I ain't gotta go nowhere. My wife's asking me about. I planted some roses out here, and she's asking me about watering them.
See how that one was normal? See how that one was normal, the small one?
See, that's odd.
But now they're both the same size. Ask your wife. But they're now both the same size.
Well, you ain't gonna like what I just asked my wife.
What'd she say?
I said, is it normal for one foot to be swollen on the other ones? And first thing she said, because she does all the stress tests and shit, she said congestive heart failure.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Son of a bitch.
You got fluid. I know enough to be dangerous. You got fluid. So you're gonna have to change your damn ways and get a little healthier and quit these. I don't know how I've not been stricken. I've not been. I'm nearly 50 years old. I've still got good everything.
I'm 41 years old.
Well, hardcore times take a toll.
I got super high blood pressure. Actually, my blood pressure yesterday at the doctor's office was 169, 196 over 116, and after that was 160 or 190 something over 111 or 12. I can't remember. I said it in the other one. Congestive heart failure. Ask her, does that mean a clogged artery? Like they give me a stent?
Could be several things. I can go into. Hey, this guy wants to know, is that clogged arteries that get stents or generally what? He's 41 years old. Not that you're a doctor, but what is your general seeing of things? When you have that congestive heart failure. Failure of the heart means you've abused your heart, asshole.
Yeah, well, I have. Back when I used to do steroids and shit.
You're gonna have to make changes in your life because you know why? Because if shit gets bad, and I need your goofy ass down here in Georgia to help me shoot these damn zombies that come out of the woods. I need people, so you need to get your shit together.
I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to die. I'm just worried about my daughter and my grandbaby.
Well, okay.
That should just come
out
of nowhere.
Exercise, dude. It can. It comes. You're gonna have to start exercising. And I mean, I do it every day. You got to get out and sweat, man. I've been out here running chainsaw, pole saw, and I sweat like hell 2 days in a row. You got to do that at least 3 to 5 times a week.
Well, after that, I find out tomorrow, or not tomorrow. I was supposed to go today, but I said, you know what? I'm. I'll wait till you're done talking.
No, go ahead. I'll just tell my wife what
I
you
was
said.
supposed to go today, but I know from what the doctor told me, if I would have went to the ER today, they would have kept me. But I want to spend my last 4th of July with Marley because after the 4th, we have to put him down. And I was afraid if I went in today, then they would keep me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep me overnight. So I was like, screw it. I'll just go July 5th.
They'll probably put you on the I can't even remember the medicines, the congestive heart failure, water pills, and all that. And I don't know. Yeah, search ways, exercise, other things, and other supplements maybe to help. Hopefully, you're not too far down.
I always say, never fear death. Just at least let me shoot. Get a chance.
Yeah, Mildred McLarkin said some medications, and I don't think Justin's on very many. He may eat goody powders, but yeah, you're right. Also, she's right on that. Also,
no, I've been on a 100 milligrams since I was 18. Had high blood pressure since I was 18. But
I got flowers and needed water. Ms. Mary, go water your flowers. Thanks for being here, Justin. I'm gonna get the hell off here because
all right, I gotta go. Much love. Fear no man.
Yeah.
Never fear death. Get right with God. Fight the good fight. And always stay locked and loaded. Hey, B.
Yes.
If I do die of a heart attack,
Yeah,
you gotta take the show over.
It ain't happening no time soon, so I'm not taking those shows over anytime
Yeah,
soon. We got to get back to trucking.
Right.
Hey, look, everybody, enjoy your holiday weekend. Spend time with your family, eat some good food, and keep prepping. Make sure you got your guns and food. This is time. Look, stores are filled back up. It's time to get your shit together and get ready, because I will tell you, I don't have dreams. I don't have any of that telling you, but I just feel, and I think all of us feel, bad things are coming. We've got election time. We've got all this other stuff, and it's just the next 6 months. And after that, if it don't happen in the next 6 months, I ain't going to say another word about it, but I just think the next 6 months is going to be ugly. Anyway, everybody enjoy the weekend. If I don't get back here on Justin or Wakes or whoever's, y'all enjoy the weekend, eat food, have a good weekend.
You too. And real quick,
stay locked and loaded. Bang, bang.
Mildred, I haven't switched any medication. I've been on it for years, so thank you for that. But
yeah, Angel, I like handcuffs.
I heard it. You whispered that one. Oh yeah, Angel. I like handcuffs.
Yeah, Justin.
I like handcuffs. All right, love y'all. Later.